Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I'm so excited to be back with all of you for another episode of the podcast. Today, multi-instrumentalist, Baltimore's own Miss Natalie Brooke. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I am lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us. That helps the bands and artists that we feature. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR, outfitters.com. Don't just wear, RAR. So,
Nice.
Miss Natalie, we just talked about it. We last saw each other at the Ramble Festival last October in Darlington, Maryland.
Yep.
It seems like yesterday, but tell the audience your experience at that festival last year.
Oh my gosh. It was one of the most intense weekends of my life for sure. I actually got sicker than ever after, and it's almost like just like a testament to how awesomely draining it is in a way because like anyone who's there, you're seeing so much music, meeting so many people, you want to go to everything, do everything, see everything because it's like just that awesome of a festival. And I was an artist at large last year, so of course I was playing on like so many sets, so I was just like, oh my gosh, I was awake a lot and then playing a lot, and yeah, so it was just awesome. And it took everything out of me, and I gave it everything, and it was just so much fun.
And talk about the connections that you made because a lot of those bands that you played, you got to open for like just recently, correct?
Totally, yeah. So big something, probably the biggest one there. Also collaborated with Sneezing. We've got shows with them this year. I hope I'm not missing anything else, but big something was a really memorable sit-in, and yeah, we just did 11 days and 10 shows with them that we got back from last week. And that was incredibly successful and incredibly fun and just like such a good time.
Any story that you can share that really sticks out with that tour in particular that you
Oh my gosh. I don't think I have like a story. It's just like the whole thing was just like a movie. We played in all of these beautiful places on the East Coast, Portland, Maine, Rhode Island, like gorgeous places in Connecticut I didn't know existed. And like every show was great. There just like wasn't a low moment. There wasn't a bad show. It was just all a high. I can't think of any specific thing. It was just like go, 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 go. And everything was awesome and fun. So
and so you would do an opening set and then most nights did you get to sit in with them or was that kind of a special like occurrence?
yeah, most nights they're really awesome with collaborations. Like they just always want people up, and their stuff is just really good for that. Like they'll open up any song in the middle and just be like, "Hey, we're gonna call you up in the middle. It's D minor," or the next night it's F minor, and that's pretty much it. And we had them up with us a lot. We had Casey on sax, we had Nick on vocals and guitar. Who else? I think we didn't end up getting to have Jesse up. We wanted to on the last night, but then stuff didn't work out. But yeah.
So when you say that they tell you just to, what key it is in, like for all of us who don't play music, that's like a superpower. But like for you, it was just nonchalant. Like talk about like how
Yeah.
difficult that is to learn, right?
Yeah, experience is the way to learn with that stuff. Like I've been in practice rooms for as long as I can remember, whether that practice room was like, my parents' living room for like the first 18 years of my life. But just getting on stage with people, and I mean, like the key is one thing, but I've learned that my biggest learning curve and just like what experience gives me is learning how to like read facial expressions and like read different people's cues and like feel out the way different people do different styles of jams. That's like the real meat of it. But yeah, I mean, the key that you're in and the whatever is just like one little building block there.
Yeah, it's like the coloring book and you guys are the crayons, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Exactly.
So the founder of Ramble, Mr. Brick, you and him
Luke,
have a special connection. Tell the audience
we
about
do.
when that happened, how it happened, and how it's going currently.
That's a good story. So, okay, so yeah, Brick is my manager. And yeah, he runs Ramble Festival. He founded it. And okay, so let's go back maybe like 2 years from now. So I would say 2 years ago, summer going into fall, I had been doing my band at that time for a couple years post COVID. I started the band right before COVID, so 2019. Okay, 2020 COVID hits. I have nothing to do because I'm not big enough to play anything. So I just got thrown to the side, you know. And then so for a couple of years, I was doing everything myself. I was like booking and I was getting a lot of good opening gigs. I was getting a lot of good looks, but then there comes a point where like all those great opening gigs, because you're like a good local band, like they kind of go away because you've like done them all. And then so that had happened, and I was still trying to book for myself, still trying to book into like Virginia, PA, West Virginia, but like the shows were just like not hitting, and like people weren't there, and like the traveling was not worth it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need help. Like it's time to reach out and find help. Because I kind of just thought that at some point I would meet somebody who would know someone who's a manager or who's a booking agent, and like the connections would just happen. Then I learned, I was like, nope, I need to go find someone. And so I think one of the first things I did was reach out to some agents through like other people who gave me the connection. And I basically got a lot of no's or no responses because it's like I didn't have the numbers. I didn't have like my name just wasn't big enough for anything or whatever. And then I was like, okay, that guy Brick, I forget where I met him, but I was like, he seems pretty connected and he runs the festival. I was like, I'm just going to give this guy a call. I think we maybe talked and like caught up a couple times. And when I called him, I think I started to get emotional because I just was like, I feel like I'm floundering and I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where to get advice or just like more input or someone to help me go up the next step. And I remember his response was he kind of started laughing. And I was like, what's funny? He was like, well, the universe always like answers or it always provides. And it turns out at the same time, he was just starting to be like, hey, I want to get into management and booking. And so then like I called and it's like, then we ended up being like, okay, perfect team. Like, let's go. And then so we just kind of had some like drinks and some lunches and we're just like, how are we going to do this? How is it going to be? Because he'd never managed before and I never had a manager. So we had a lot of things to figure out and just get to know each other. And yeah, so then we started working together and then Brick helped me get agents who otherwise like, I think when an artist hits up an agent, it's a little hard for them to be like, okay, signing you. But when you have like somebody representing you and helping the conversation, that helps. So then it was like, Brick manager, and then we got Alan and Chad on agents, and then everything has just been like blowing up. Long. I don't know if that was like a long story, but
No,
yeah.
that's exactly what I wanted. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So when obviously you tell the band this, what do you remember the first time that Brick then met all of you together, like the band too?
That band is actually not the lineup now,
Okay.
besides Jacob Nestor on bass. So
Okay.
part of getting manager and agent meant the touring quickly picked up, which means the people who were currently in the band could not maintain that level of travel and like taking off work, or like it just didn't work for their lifestyle. So that's like a good and a bad thing. It's like, oh my gosh, we're leveling up, but not everybody can do that.
Right.
So then, like, Jacob is a full time musician just like me. So it's like very easy for us to be like, we're going on the road. Like, we don't have a lot of other commitments on purpose. And then in April, I started working with Brick October a year and a half ago. And then about 5 or 6 months after that is when we just happened to sub Nathan Shulkin in on drums, Luke Walker in on guitar for an Asheville gig. And then, like, the rest is history. So yeah, that's kind of how that happened there. And now we've had like this core crew since then.
I mean, I know Luke from Uncle Kunkel. Like, talk
Yeah.
about like what Luke has brought to you personally, music and musically.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Luke is kind of like I don't know why I'm like hesitating to say this. He's kind of like exactly what I've always wanted in a guitar player. I've always wanted somebody who like knows their theory but doesn't base their playing off of it. So it's like we can speak in theory. Somebody who really knows how to jam and open up and then can like also rip a solo when needed. And then also fun on stage and can dress well. So I've always thought I'm like, man, my criteria for a guitar player is like a lot. Because also like the way that I write music, it is most difficult for guitar players to kind of like fit in.
Gel. Yeah.
Rhythm section, yeah, rhythm section, it's like My stuff is like a little different, but it like really makes sense. But because it's so pianistic, so jazzy, like it can be a little harder to translate those things over to guitar and find the right parts. But Luke is also just like so good at like getting a demo and being like, I wrote this, I tried this, like what do you think about that? And it's just like I said, it's like everything I want a guitar player, which is like, yes, Luke, thank
Yeah.
you.
So
Yeah.
I would be remiss to mention all of the instruments that you do play. It might be easier though for you just to list them. Like,
Yeah. I actually I don't know, I don't know if I consider myself like hugely a multi-instrumentalist because I'm all keys, although I play a lot of different ones. Like I grew up on piano classically and then keys and synth, which like you could kind of consider,
sure.
especially the piano and synth world, like pretty different.
Yeah.
And then I sing, and honestly the only other instrument I play is bass. And I've just recently picked up ukulele, but like I don't know anything about guitar. So
Yeah.
yeah. If you,
Well,
I guess that is multi instrumentalist, but I also feel like some people are like so good at so many instruments, so I don't know.
well, the Vox and the keytar too, that kind of counts as well,
It
right?
does. It
Yeah.
totally does. I'm probably like understating there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Billy Joel doc, by the way, yet?
I have not. I'm really bad at like watching anything besides reality TV. I tend to just turn that on and like cooking shows. And when it comes to like any good, really good show that everyone's freaking out about, or just like movies, documentaries, I don't know what it is with me, but I don't get around to stuff that I should.
You got too much other to focus on. I get it. I get
I
it.
guess, yeah, when I want to put something on TV, I'm like, I want it to be absolutely mindless.
Yeah, I hear
But
you.
I love Billy Joel, so I should probably turn that on and
Yeah,
watch it.
it's on HBO. It's a lot. It's like 4.5 hours. It's two parts, but
I kind of love
it's
that.
it's amazing. Like
Okay,
it really
cool.
like talk about tragedy amongst triumph, like it's
Wow.
just yeah, it was good. I highly
What
recommend
is it
it.
called?
And so it goes.
Love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I want to hear about Johnstown.
Mm,
Because it looked like we watched the Frasco set on Friday night, and you played what late night Friday then?
yeah.
Okay, so talk about that festival. Like I've heard good things, but I've not been to it. So give everybody a lowdown.
Highly recommend. I like the layout of it. It's 2 days and it starts later in the afternoon. It starts at like 4, which I think is cool because sometimes I think music from like 1 to like 3 in the morning, I think can be kind of a lot. But the lineup was just nuts. I mean, Friday was dogs, Frasco, pigeons, and then me. And I feel like all of us are associated with each other. They've all been on a tour together. I've played with pigeons. I've sat in with Frasco a lot. So it was just like so many synchronicities. The Saturday lineup was cool too. Government Mule headlined. They had 2 sets, and then Octave Cat was a late night, which is that really cool Lotus Dopapod side project. Yeah, and it's like kind of a small grounds, which I love as well because it keeps everyone like nice and packed in and it feels like a big crowd. It is like a lot of people. And yeah, I mean, it was just like it was way too much fun. Like being in the like backstage with dogs, Frasco, pigeons, and myself, and all of us knowing each other, like it was just so much fun.
I can only imagine the conversations between all of you,
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's just yeah, it's a really good time.
just between Sean and Andy. I mean, let alone, right?
When I first saw Sean, we were sound checking at like 1 in the afternoon on like the other stage, and then he just comes like zooming through on this like little motorized bike, which is it's like a really short bike, and he's like, "What's up, guys?" Like, oh my god, of course that's Sean, you know. And then I noticed later that the little bike thing was like parked in their trailer. I was like, oh my god, he brings that around with him on tour. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
It
me.
was so funny. Yeah.
I've known those guys for I think 15 years. I saw them at South by, the
Oh
first South
wow.
by that I went to in two. Actually, no, it'd be 12 years.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I saw them and just was blown away, and then ended up, having some fun with Andy afterwards.
Yeah.
And like the rest is history. Like yeah, like those
Yeah.
guys are like they're just family.
They
They're
are.
so awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's like their whole thing. When I was getting ready to go up on stage with them, they just kept pulling people on stage. Like it was Jeremy from Pigeons, Jimmy from Dogs. Somebody else was on there. I cannot remember. And then he just
Uh,
motions for me.
Jenny
And
Hartswick.
yes. Oh my God. She just blown everything up. She did Barracuda.
Oh my God. It was
Oh
amazing.
my God. I've personally always like been like, okay, that'd be really cool if I could ever sing that song. And then to just like hear someone, it just like brought tears to my eyes because it was so cool. I was like, wow. It's just
Yeah, so
amazing.
powerful. Like just so powerful.
So good. It was amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like you got to play the 930 Club this year.
Oh
Talk about that
yeah.
experience. Like that is like
Yeah.
an iconic venue, not just on the East
Mhm.
Coast, but in the entire country.
I know. I know. It was so cool. I've actually played 930 Club, I think 4 times before I played with my band, but ever since the first time I played it, I'm like, this is gonna feel actually like I really did it when it's with my band, you know, because I've always been on the side playing with somebody else, which is great and like amazing and such an honor. And I'm like, I want to do it with my band. I want to do it with my band. And then we got the email, I think the very beginning of this year, and they were considering other people at the time still. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, and then we got the yes. And I was like, holy shit. And I remember going to rehearsal and waiting to tell the guys in person. Because sometimes I send out a text like, hey, we're going to do this. Like, put it in your calendar or check the calendar. And that one, I was like, guys, 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 guys. I was like, guess what? And I was like bouncing around. And I was like, we're going to play. We're going to play the 930 Club. And yeah, it was amazing. We were so ready. We were so excited. We were super locked in. We all dressed really well. We had like a really good set list. Got the cupcakes, and it was amazing. It was a dream come true. Dream come true.
That's a good segue. What are, set lists? I talk to a bunch of bands and artists, and I always get a different answer about set lists. How important are they to you? Does it matter? Like, tell the audience like what your take on set lists are.
Yeah, we, for better or for worse, we tailor them very much to the event slash venue and also our mood. So it's like there's a lot going on there already. But I think it's because my catalog is like the song choices are so varied. Like we have like a lot of like instrumental punk songs, and then we have like I Am a Web, which is like this great singer songwriter kind of Elton John experience, and then we've got like some summery piano things and like whatever, and like Sexy Mofo, which can be played one of 20 ways. So it's like, which way do we want to play it? So I don't know. I mean, we do it based on the gig. We were like, what do we want to tell this crowd? You know, we're opening up for Andy, and it's like, okay, we want to show like our songwriting, and we also want to like improvise and like dig in. Some sets, it's like, let's do a lot of vocals, let's sing a lot, let's like make it very upbeat and happy. And then another set might be like all just like raging, like fast, kind of like some more like aggressive vibe. So I don't know, it's really just per show. And we tailor things a lot with like different transitions too. What who's gonna start it, if there's gonna be kind of like a musical segue. And yeah. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I want to talk about the tour poster.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's so cool, first of all.
Mhm.
Do you have one that we can show, or you don't have one on you?
Yes. 1 second. It's right over
Yeah,
there.
that'd be awesome.
A lot of things that are gonna fall.
Oh yeah.
These are all of the hold on. These are all of like the first 10, I think,
Okay.
that we're keeping for like us and family. And then this is number 18. I think I'm giving this to a friend. And here it is.
So cool.
Yeah, it's all I think it's is it called screen printing? I really should know, but it's like where she, lowers down the thing and the color
Yep.
and like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. So she's got like my boots in there.
So
The
cool.
Natalie Brooke boot, the fishnet, the bowl of noodles, the keytar. Her name is Jamie Gibson. She's in Colorado, and this is our first tour poster, and it's so cool.
And how did you connect with her?
Brick actually just saw her stuff and was like, "Hey, I think this really fits your vibe. We should do your first tour poster with her because summer is stacked." And I was like, yes." And then we just started an email and we were like, "We're thinking this vibe, these colors," and then she was drawing it up. And we were like, "Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah!" And then we got them.
So
So yeah,
she's done tour posters
Instagram.
before?
Yeah, she does it for a lot of people. Like I think I was talking to Dogs. They've gotten stuff from her. Dogs in a pile. And hey Jacob.
We got a friend.
Yeah, that's Nestor. Nestor on the bass, Jacob. Yeah.
So we've got Dome Fest coming up.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that festival. Tell the audience like what it all entails, and where you got what night you're playing then.
Yeah, so that's the Pigeons Playing Ping Pong Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure you know pigeons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've been doing Dome Fest for a very long time. I think I heard a rumor that like the first one happened at like University of Maryland or something when they were all in college. So that's how long they've been doing it. And this is their first year doing it at Ace Adventure Resort in West Virginia. Have you ever been there or heard of it?
No.
It's really cool. It's where they do Mountain Music Festival and it has like a water park like in a lake kind of thing. And there's like a lower part of the festival grounds where there's like the restaurant and like the lake. And then you have to like take a bus up to the top of the mountain where they have the main stage and like the kind of indoor art covered area. And it's just a really cool festival grounds because like you have to go by bus, or if you try to walk up the mountain, it'll probably take you like an hour. And it's a steep incline. But yeah, so Pigeons headlines, and actually my two main projects are playing there. So the Infinity Tribe, my side instrumental fusion project, which Alex, the drummer from Pigeons, he's in that band, and so that's Friday, and then Natalie Brooke is on Saturday.
Okay. And it's a 3 day or just a 2 day?
It is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, so it's 3 days.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
cool. And actually, I just found out my whole band is going to be on the Dome Fest All Stars set, which is led by, I mean, mainly Jeremy from Pigeons, and he just gets people from all over the festival. He gave us all a big song list, and it's actually really cool. So I didn't know. So every year, the Saturday night closing main stage set is Dome Fest All Stars, which is just a collaboration of everybody, which is really cool.
that is cool. Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
those guys are great. That doesn't
They
surprise me at
are.
all.
I
Yeah.
know. Everybody's so nice.
So let's talk about the music scene in Baltimore because nationally, I don't think a lot of people really know, but I mean, you guys are killing it. I mean, I could list 7 bands right now that are just great. Talk
Thanks.
about that scene, talk about the scene and talk about maybe why like it's being kind of underrated right now.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that before COVID, I was heavily in the Washington, D.C. scene, and there were like more venues and more jams going on there. And then COVID, like, just really did a number on DC. And then ever since then, I've just found myself more and more and more in Baltimore. There are, yeah, like you said, there are so many active bands in Baltimore right now, and everybody is collaborating with everybody. So, like, the bands share bills, and
Mhm.
everybody's band has other bands that they're all in, where everybody from everything is doing like a bluegrass side thing, or like I do a duo show with Rachel May from Five Spot, and we've got Noodly Nestor Gator, which is like Gator from Pigeons, and Nestor from my band, and also Nestor, and Luke Walker has One Grand Band, and Nathan Shulkin has Dancing Bears and Greasy Hands, and I guess it's probably just like a really positive attitude for collaboration from everybody, and also just like a bunch of good musicians in the same city at the same time,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah, it really is. So, I mean, we've got the 8x10, we've got Pier 6, we've got what other small venues? I'm drawing a
Cat's
blank.
Eye Pub.
Cat's Eye, right? Yeah, duh.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Morgan, he's just
Yes.
kind, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna see him tomorrow, and like I was actually just gonna say, I was like, we have the infrastructure to support the scene too, because I live in Frederick, Maryland, which has a lot of musicians, but does not have the infrastructure. We do not have like big and small venues. We don't really have any venues. So there's no places for people to hold jams or open mics or just like shows. There's only
Right.
like really one spot. But yeah, so that's like a really important part of it that I've learned. And then like, yeah, the 8x10 is like your ticketed show where like you can have 50 and 100 people in like your building, and that's great. And also when you have your first sellout, that's like amazing for you. And then you can be a like a bigger artist and play at Cat's Eye for fun and rage out on like a weekday. And you can also, like the way Rachel and I play, from like 12 to 4 on a Sunday sometimes, and we just like play jazz and like all of our friends come. It's just amazing to have these spots where like it's just about music and people coming together and doing the thing.
Yeah. What's the Keystone Corner? Have you ever played there?
I haven't, but I want to.
I saw Pete Yorn there, acoustic.
Cool. I
And
don't
it
know
was
who that is.
singer-songwriter from Los Angeles.
Okay, cool.
His most famous album was in 2001. It was called Music for the Morning After.
Cool.
He's played with Scarlett Johansson.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's yeah. So anyway, he played an acoustic set there, and I had never heard of the place until going there, and I was like, "This is dope!" Like you could
Yeah.
totally get that. Like acoustics were great. Like yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think last year, I don't know when it was, Pat Metheny was playing there. And I'm like, I have to go. And I think I was broke at the time. And I'm like, this happens here? And you can sit at a table. And like, I really, really, really am like itching to have the opportunity to, I feel like I need to kind of build up this Natalie Brooke thing like a little more. And then once I establish that more, I'm really looking forward to hosting kind of more jazz sit down shows and maybe doing like a night. We just talked about Billy Joel. I really want to do a Billy Joel tribute, and I want to do it the right way with like a piano in like a bar with tables and like food and drinks. So I'm always kind of daydreaming about stuff like that because I did grow up on piano, like composing solo piano pieces, and like I got my degree in classical and jazz. So like I'm always waiting for when I can kind of return to like more intimate settings for music,
Yeah,
much like Keystone Corner provides.
yeah, yeah. It would be
Mhm.
great to be able to like do a 2 week tour of arenas, and then on a Tuesday night play like what you're talking about, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, and like I love how it's like you have a 7 show and a 9 show. So you do like, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you play 4 shows. That's so cool, and leave everything set up. That's the best part.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would assume when you're songwriting, you're a music first and then lyrics, or do you every once in a while have a lyric first and then song?
Totally, sometimes lyric first. Like,
Really?
yeah, actually, it's crazy. Some of my favorite lyrics that just popped up in my head were definitely written not with music at all. So, I am a web was just I remember I wrote that like late at night leaving Arlington one day and it was like raining. And I actually tend to write lyrics a lot when I'm driving. Not that I'm being unsafe. I literally am doing voice to text.
Yeah, of course.
And and then a song that's going to come out on the album in October called Lucky Enough. Wrote that as well, completely away from the music. It can be hard to go fit words into a song after, but you know, whatever. We make it happen.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
want to talk before we get to the new album and the single that comes out.
Hmm.
I want to talk about Wicked and Wonderful because, like you said, there are moments on that EP where there is this wall of sound that is
Yeah.
just captivating. Like how did that, was that organic or was that kind of thought out? Or
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like it wasn't uh like pushed, I guess, or
Yeah. Are you talking about like? Do you have an example? I think I might know what you're talking about.
so like Echoes of Us is there's moments of that. I
Yeah.
mean, Complex Water, there's,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I
like
love complex water. Yeah.
yeah. So talk about that. I mean, because it
Yeah.
is, you guys are a 4 piece, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I can definitely comment on this. So, um, when I go into the studio, I feel like I do layer a lot. So basically we lay stuff down. Complex water, let's use that as an example. I really like to record live with the 4 of us to get like the authenticity of the take, not like drums and then this, that, whatever. Um, and then I go in and I layer into Oblivion, and it is like my favorite part of the process. So like, yes, that doesn't quite get heard live, which like as I get more money, more production, and maybe like people to come up and play stuff like that can be heard like live. But Complex Water, I added like pad, organ, and a lot of leads after. And basically, so I record with Kenny Eaton at Mystery Ton Studios for like a number of albums now. And let's say we spend like a week doing the band. And then I'll do a whole other week of just me and like my Nord and the synthesizers. And I'm like, let's add this, let's add that. Do we hear this there? Like, let's try it. Let's like weave it in more, or like do an arpeggiator. So I just really love that. I love creating like the bigger sound in the headphones and the listening experience. It's just a part of recording that I really enjoy. Getting that rawness of the song and then just adding to it is really fun.
Yeah. So that's a good segue. What is your favorite way to listen to music? Are you like in the car? Are you like headphones? Like are you on the beach? Are you where's your ideal spot?
Yeah, I would say like going on walks, honestly. I live in Frederick and it's like a really beautiful downtown area. And it's pretty safe. So I would like to say that I can walk at night and feel pretty good. But yeah, like going on walks and riding my bike and listening to music. I think just like having scenery around me move and stuff feels the best, especially when you're riding your bike, and like feel like you're like in a cartoon or like an action film, just like weaving around, like listening to stuff. So I would say that's my favorite way to listen to music. The car sometimes I oddly prefer for it to be quiet. But yeah, outside, walking, riding my bike, for sure.
Yeah, I've noticed like that I've gotten older. Like I listen to more podcasts now than music.
Yeah.
But when I have to, obviously I listen to music. But I
Hmm.
feel like if I don't have anything that I need to listen to musically, like I usually will like my go-to is then podcasts. I don't know. Are you
Yeah.
much of a podcast listener?
No, definitely because I can get not tired of music, but like I don't want to nauseate myself with constant music listening. So like yeah, kind of separating from that a little bit. And also this is so silly, but because I'm so into reality TV because it's so brainless and silly, there are a lot of like podcasts and videos of people like recapping, like Bachelor in Paradise this week and it's like 2 hours and I'm like, let's go. Like we're going to talk about so and so and so and so that made out and then like this girl posted this on Instagram after and whatever. So I'm like that just really helps me escape. And then when you get back to the music, it's like, fuck yeah, like I really am loving this album right now or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as someone who doesn't have any tattoos, how many tattoos do we have and what is our favorite?
Okay, so my first tattoo was these little guys right here, it's a little music
Yeah.
tattoo. So I got the alphabet A B C D E F G A musical alphabet, and then this I consider kind of like the alphabet of synthesizers. So it's like the four different kinds of waves. Um, And then I just have a bunch of random stuff. Like this is like a friendship tattoo of a girl that like we've known each other since we were babies. This was a card that I drew on like New Year's Day on 1/1/22, and I was like, it's a sign. So I was like, I got it, it's a tattoo. And yeah, I just have like other stuff like here and there. Honestly, I really want more, but I don't have the money for it. I just think like, we're all going to die one day and I think being decorated is fun and I think having meaningful things is fun and I think having completely meaningless things is also fun. For example, a friend of mine, we were in Baltimore, we were like, let's get a tattoo. And so we went to this girl who was an apprentice and her hand was like this. So that was a funny part of it. I'm really glad I got it like on my ankle. But we picked out a tattoo that was like a heart with an arrow and like a skull in the middle, and the skull had like heart eyes. Turns out it's the Alkaline Trio symbol or logo. And I had no idea, and I don't listen to Alkaline Trio, but she figured that out like a couple days after we got it, and I was like, "LOL, that's so funny." So like now we have an Alkaline Trio tattoo, and we don't listen to Alkaline Trio, and it's just a funny story. So it's like whatever, it's just fun.
But the universe might have you open up for Alkaline Trio someday.
Right,
Wouldn't that
right.
be
It could
crazy?
it could make sense in a number. It could have all been part of a bigger plan.
Yeah,
So
you
we
two
will
on
see.
Warp Tour.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go. Hey, younger me would be so psyched to be on a work tour. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So were there any concerts that you got to go so far this year that have blown you away or shows that you've seen?
Oh my gosh. I sometimes have a really bad memory. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. I do have things that are popping in my head that weren't this year. This year's
Okay,
been
yeah,
really
that's fine.
busy.
Yeah.
But I can say that like last year, I think it was last year. Do you know the band Under Oath?
They're like more hardcore, right? Or like
Yeah.
rock. Yeah. Huh?
Yep, yep. Kind of screamo,
Yeah.
hardcore. My brother took me to see them. I think it was last year at some point. One of the best concerts I've ever seen. Um, Gosh, what I think last year, I think I went to more concerts last year. I saw Primus perform. Is it Dogs? Is that the album by Pink Floyd? Is it called Dogs?
Uh, I think that is one
It's
of
like
them. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
terrible that I don't know this because Jacob is a huge Primus and Pink Floyd fan.
Heard.
So it was, oh, it wasn't Primus performing, it was the Frog Brigade. But anyway, it was a Les Claypool project.
Sure.
Saw that. I went to like a really awesome like rave at Echo Stage last year, which like blew my mind, which I've like never done. I don't even know if I need to do that again. But yeah, I think we've been touring a lot this year. I don't feel like I've gone to see a lot of concerts. I've just been playing a lot of concerts. So
That's great.
yeah, but those are like the most memorable, the things that are coming to mind because also Sean Lennon was on the Frog Brigade show. So that was just crazy, like seeing the
Yeah.
child of John Lennon in the flesh, which I knew when I went there, I was like, oh, Sean Lennon, like John Lennon's son. But then like looking at that person and being like, that's John Lennon's son. Like, that's crazy. So
Yeah, he put out an album in the last 5 years that was really, really good. I forget what it was
cool.
called, but yeah, it was really good. And you're like, oh my God.
Cool. That
So
sounds like
eerie.
just out there enough that I'm like, I gotta listen to that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So let's talk about this single,
Let's do that.
Hands. It
Yeah.
comes out basically next Friday, the
Yeah.
8th of August.
Yeah.
Talk about, like the excitement first of all, and then talk about like the background of the song itself.
Yeah. Um, okay, so yeah, it's called Hands. It's coming out on 8/8. It's the first track on the album, and it's like it's a heater, it's quick, it like punches you in the face. So I was like, this is a perfect first single. It's like a funky, like piano organ, fast kind of funk punk song. And basically the song, the lyrical content is just about like think Spotify, think like higher up people who have like their hands in the one of the lyrics is hands in the bowl to feed your name to who? Just you. And it's like people that are up there got their hands in the bowl of the musician, like being trying to be cooks in the kitchen and like taking a lot from musicians when like they have no business doing it. It's like no one cares about your name, no one cares about you, you're just stealing from us. So it's kind of just like my feelings in regards to that. And a lot of the repetitive lyrics just like hands all over, hands all over. And it's just kind of like just being mad about that, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
So have you had, are you, because I know that this happens. I hope that it's still not happening, but I'm hoping you can speak on this. When you sell merch at these venues, are they taking cuts from your sales?
The only time that that has happened is 9:30 Club.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it's not fun, you know? I think I won't speak on like, oh, 9:30 Club, how could you? Because, you know, I think I don't want to lead the conversation in that direction, but I
Yep.
will focus on just like the general point that like we are already struggling to make money and like that is what feels like the one thing that musicians have left is merchandise. And it is like a huge form of income. So that does just feel like we all if it were to start becoming more of a thing, I really hope and would think that we would just be like, no effing way. This is the last thing that we have. Get the fuck out of here. It's mine. And like we would just start selling it outside on the street and making, making shakedown streets for our merch.
Yeah, it really, like when I heard that, it really did like just just grind my bones because it
Yeah.
just
And it's
yeah,
just
like
weird because it's like maybe they have a merch seller, but it's like I don't even know if that's what they say. Oh, we're providing a merch seller. It's like, okay, anyone can do that. I could do it. My mom would sell the merch.
sure.
She was at the show. She would have loved to.
Your brother would sell the merch.
Literally.
Yeah.
My brother is on the list of possibly being our TM.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
it's
very
unfortunate.
frustrating. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not when you said that, that's the one venue that I've heard more than anybody that,
Yeah.
is but anyway.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the rest of the album. 11 tracks in total. You did. You said you've recorded at Mystery Ton Studios.
Yeah.
You've recorded there before, so I'm
Yeah.
sure that familiarity helped, or did not really matter this time.
Um, Definitely helps the more times I work with Kenny because we just like get faster and better at like doing what we do. And Kenny has been listed as like a producer at this point because I think because we've worked together so much that like he provides a lot more input and we like work together a lot on like making things happen and like layering and record the drums this way or put the microphone here or like whatever. Whereas like before he may have been taking more of a back seat because I maybe it was just more of like a client and now we're like really good friends. So yeah, I can't remember what your question was. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I was asking
Sometimes
about
I start going and I'm like, wait, what was the question?
no, like just the rest of the tracks,
Okay.
like how like the album and how it was produced, and like that process, of course.
Right.
How
Okay.
many tracks did you come in with?
We came in with 10 and we left with 11 because we added on Sometimes, which is the second single coming out, and it's just like it was the second song I wrote for this band. Probably there's a video of me playing it on Instagram in 2017. That is how old that song is. And I've just never thought to record it. I don't know why. And then we were like crushing all of the all of the group takes and we were like, well, let's add a song. What the heck? Let's just record Sometimes. It's like everyone loves it live. I don't really know why I didn't have it on the list. But yeah, so that's track 4 and there are 11 tracks. And so since you listen to Wicked and Wonderful, you know how it's kind of got like a lot of different moods even just for
Mhm,
being 5 tracks.
mhm.
I would literally say that this album is just that expanded
Yeah.
because we've got like 2 like shorter, more compressed songs in the beginning and then it goes right into like a punk jam and then we've got Sometimes and then there's like tracks 5, 6 and 7 in the middle have a very very different vibe. They're like slower, more emotional songs. There's like a solo keys vocal thing from me and then a solo bass interlude and then this song Water for People that I'm really excited to release. And then after that, there's like some like big ones, like some big band stuff and like an instrumental at the end. So it's just like a lot of everything. And I'm really excited for people to like go on the roller coaster ride.
And was there any doubt to do like a full length album, or was there any thought of doing another EP, or what was your thought process with regards to the release itself?
Yeah, I was like, it's time to do the LP. And I mean, honestly, I wish I got one out earlier, but you know, it's expensive and recording and releasing and mixing and mastering just takes a long time. So once we did the EP last year, Wicked and Wonderful, was that last year? I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it was out last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next thing I always wanted to do was an LP. So here it is. And we recorded it. We did like 2 weeks of like every day in the studio, which was insane. Like I've never been like more of a zombie than I was at the end of that because for like 8 hours, we go in like 9 and leave 5, I think, and we have like an hour lunch break. It is just like constant playing and decision making. Like if you're not playing, it's like, are you listening to this? We're overdubbing this. Is that good? Should we add this? Should we take this out? Oh, the vocal's gonna be there. Okay, well then don't put that there. Well then we're gonna play this here. And it's just yeah. So that for like 2 weeks in a row was like crazy. And then we did sessions for like on and off for a couple weeks after that, doing like vocals and percussion and all of like my keyboard overdubbing. And then we put it all together and it's big. Kind of like what you mentioned with like some walls of sound and I Am a Web. I totally did that on this album.
Yeah.
I totally went in. Like there are times where like I did 12 background vocals on something and I did that 3 times in a song. So it's a lot. But it ends up being like boom, you know, like so yeah.
So I've asked artists this a lot, and I'd love to hear the answers. So, when you are in the studio, you're working so hard coming up with these songs, and you're ready to put them out. Up until that point, until you release them, they're your songs. But
Hmm.
after you release them, they're everyone else's then. Like,
Yeah.
does that thought come across your mind, or how do you kind of, when I say that, how do you react to that?
Yeah. To me, it is. so satisfying putting music out into the world, and it feels like you're literally letting a bird free out of a cage. Because it's really cool to have your songs, and it's really cool to perform them live. But I think if it weren't for like streaming platforms kind of sucking, like in their ways, Oh, I guess like if we could just go back to like releasing a CD, that would be cool. That feels like this is my stamp of approval. This is my mark on the world. Like stamp of approval, as in like I'm sending this out. I'm done. I'm setting it free. And then it's out in the world, and then it's like all the worry is gone, and it's like you're just gonna let it go, and you're just gonna see what happens. And if people like it and they don't like it, it doesn't matter because it's out. And that to me is such a good feeling. It is such a good feeling. And almost every time before I've gone into the studio, I want to cancel the studio session, and I hate every song and I hate every lyric, and I'm like, this sucks. And then like I go in and I'm like, this is gonna be great, and I was gonna be great. And then like we start cooking it and I'm like, oh, this is good. And then and then it comes out and I'm like, cool, just let go and let God.
So when Brick first heard the album, like what was his reaction?
So he was in the studio with us as things were coming together.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, he may have been a little like, what am I hearing? Because I think the day he came in, we were doing like this song that is like a one take, like 9 minute, like punk jam. And I don't know what he heard after that, but it may have taken him a little bit to realize what was coming together with the album. But yes, since we've gotten everything together and we've started, listening to it top to bottom, he's like, this is awesome. He's really excited for everybody to hear it and hear the things that they're not expecting, because there's definitely some unexpected things on the album. So I know he's really excited. And then Maggie too, his wife, she's like really like on the team, and we work with her a lot together, and she's really excited for it too. She has her parts that she loves, and yeah, it's just been a really good experience.
Yeah. I'm so excited to listen, or I can't wait to listen to it. So Ramble this year, you're playing, but not going to be an artist at large, so you probably can get a little bit of a relax, or not really.
Well, my schedule is crazy. So I assume there are probably going to be some sit-ins, but let's say there's no sit-ins. Okay. So Friday, the album comes out. So we're doing a like a listen through somewhere at Ramble. So on Friday I'll be doing that, and then I have late night Friday in the barn. Natalie Brooke and Disco, Noodles of the Disco. Saturday I'm playing with Nestor on his set, which is like two. I don't know. It's like 3 or something in the afternoon, and then the Infinity Tribe set is like starts like 45 minutes after you get off stage with Jacob. So I don't really know how that's gonna work. So we've got late night Friday, two sets Saturday, and then Natalie Brooke Saturday morning main stage. So I think I'm still gonna be like WTF, oh my gosh, at Ramble this year, but I'm going in more informed, and I am like taking time off a little bit before and a little bit after,
Okay.
so that I'm like 100% ready. But yeah, I'm gonna be running around. I'm gonna be running around Ramble for sure.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to year two because it
Yeah,
was like such a memorable, magical experience. Like
hmm
it really was. Like he
it
really has
really
something
is.
special down there. Like
Yeah, and
yeah,
these have been Brick's ideas and concepts. I didn't know him before the first year, but he has always wanted to make it special, unique, and just full of moments of connection and surprise. There's always surprise, which is very cool, a very cool thing that he always wants to incorporate. And there really are just like so many moments for people to do things where you don't expect to, like I said, just like that idea of like connection. He just has a way of creating moments and parts of the festival where like that's just gonna happen. There's gonna be like things happening where you're just like, wow, look at all of us. Never thought I'd be here, and this is awesome. Just again and again.
yeah, and it's in October too. Like it's a great time of
Hmm.
year. Like I was actually I talked to a Live Nation person a couple weeks ago, and they said like there's talk that you could be wearing a hoodie at major festivals going forward because like the risk of weather in like July, August, June is just too severe for them. Like, I mean, what happened
Yeah,
to Bonnaroo this year? I mean, That
Oh
costs
my
them
gosh.
millions of dollars.
Oh my
Millions of
God.
dollars.
I couldn't believe that a festival as big as Bonnaroo can just be like, we are canceled. We're so sorry. I'm like, what
Yeah.
happens? What emails are going on? Who is being like effed over? Not like effed over, but it's just like there's just got to be so much that happens there that we just have no idea like about, you know? And
Yeah.
even like Flood City, we've been really lucky, we noted as a band, to have a lot of really great weather this summer. But Flood City, there was lightning and rain and everything got like pushed back an hour. And yeah, so it is crazy. And like flooding, it's scary.
Yeah. I mean, Newport Folk Festival, that happened. They had lightning and they had stuff that was cut short on Friday.
Mm,
So yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah, it
So
is.
let's talk about last thing because I know we gotta end this.
No
Um,
pressure.
Patreon. I want to hear about how you got connected with Patreon because I know some artists that have also done it. I don't know anything about it, and I'm sure most of the audience doesn't know about it. Tell the audience about Patreon and what it can do for artists like you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, so we were talking about earlier how musicians only have like merch left for like that direct source of income that you like have control over. And basically that was just what turned me on to Patreon. I was like, this is a place where I can control what I put out, what I make, like monetarily what I get back. And I also kind of like that it's like I get to post a lot of things that I don't have to worry about my entire Instagram feed liking it or seeing it. So I just do a lot of improv and I talk about songwriting and I release demos on there. So, like, kind of a cool thing that happened recently was like the band has this new song called I Don't Fucking Know. And on Patreon, I threw up the demo, which is usually keys and Logic drums. And then either I play bass or if the bass is like too hard, I can't figure it out, I'll like play bass on my keys. And so they'll hear the demo, and then I post like the rehearsal recording. And then I just recently put up us playing it at Bernie's Beach Bar. So I put it on YouTube unlisted and I put it on Patreon. And then it's going to come out on YouTube in a little bit. So basically, it's like you really do get to see things like as they unfold, early releases of all of the music. So everything from the album, the first single, all the singles come out a week before, and then the album comes out a week before on Patreon. So it's just like a little like it's like just like peeking like behind the curtain a little bit and getting access to it. And it's just $5 a month. And my goal is I've been like finally kind of like being better about being more consistent with it. My goal is for that to be just like my income that I can count on that's not like shows happening, not happening, and this going this way or not. It's just like the same. And I can keep providing people with like cool content and like behind the scenes and whatever. So, yeah.
Well, and you also do music lessons as well, correct?
I do. I
Tell the
do.
audience about that. I mean, that's a nice source of income, right?
It is. It is. And I encourage all of my friends to do it the way that I do it, which is like I was going through schools and or just like little not like public schools, but like, little teaching schools and stuff. And then I realized that like I could be my own boss and I can charge the price that the school does, but then not have like the smaller cut. And I'm like just fully in control of the schedule. So like I just send out an email at the beginning of each month and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be on tour here, send payment for these weeks or whatever. And it's just like really good to be able to be that flexible with my schedule. And then if like something comes up like, oh my gosh, we have to have a rehearsal because we can't find a time, I can text people and be like, hey, can you do Wednesday instead of Tuesday? So, I guess I don't know why I was just talking about all like those logistical parts of it, but I guess it just really works for me and my schedule. And also, like, I do love teaching. Like, I have been teaching since I guess right when I got out of college or like a year before. No, sorry, it was like 2 years before I graduated. And I just really like it. And now I feel like I'm lucky enough to have been doing it privately, like on my own for so long that I just am working with people that like I adore and I've had for so long and they all work really hard and we have a great relationship and it's just like all positive. Um so yeah.
That's great. I mean, that's what you want, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Especially with just like how crazy my life is a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's just like if I had to have a boss that I was constantly disappointing with being gone so much, that would be tough.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate to you. Like I was a hotel manager for 22 years. I got out in
Nice.
2019. I started my own clothing company. I do the podcast. I'm a trivia host. And I
Nice.
bartend at Trogs.
Yeah. And you said you bartend?
Yeah.
Okay, so I love like everything you just said. So because I guess I just relate to that a lot. Like, I like having different jobs that I show up to all the time, um, and wearing different hats. And then also, if I could bartend for a side gig or work at a restaurant, like I would. But obviously, I'm always gone on weekends and I can't. But I just think that like working in restaurant and like bar, like I've always loved it, and I really did do that grind for a while. I just think it's cool. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's easy too. That's what makes it
It is easy.
a
I mean,
lot
you're just
better.
hanging out, chatting with people, making people happy, and then like just messing around with your coworkers. So
Yeah, you're
it's fun.
really a bartender is really just a professional conversationalist. That's really what you
Yes.
are.
Yes. If
You're a
I,
counselor, you're a minister, you're a
oh yeah, a keeper of secrets.
keeper of
Keeper of
secrets.
secrets.
Yeah.
If I am ever lucky enough to be like, have so much time and money that like later in life I could open up a restaurant that, hosts music, has great food and drinks. I would love to be somebody who provides a space kind of similar to Cat's Eye, where it's like small things are coming through like most days of the week. And I've always kind of dreamed of like having a cocktail list that's named after jazz tunes, like a can I get a Misty? Can I get a Stella by Starlight? Can I get a I love Paris? I don't know. So I hope I can do that one day.
Are you someone that has trouble sleeping, or you kind of your mind is always racing, or are you?
I I would say kind of both of those things. My mind is definitely always racing, but I sleep like a rock and I sleep for many hours. Like I slept for 11 hours last night, and even Jacob was like, "How do you need so much sleep?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I love to sleep." But I'm extremely active when I'm awake. I'm actually working on being less active because I actually struggled with kind of like some health stuff earlier this year that went on for like 4 or 5 months. And I think it was just from like a lifetime of like pushing myself to just be constantly moving, constantly going. And I've just been like unlearning a lot of that. And it might sound silly, but even just like on a Monday afternoon being like, I can lay on the couch and do nothing right now. I can read a book. I can stay in bed for another hour. Whereas, like, I just used to think that I think it was kind of like a symptom of capitalism. You know how it's like,
More, more,
uh,
more. Right.
yeah, work equals value as a
Yep.
human. And I think probably, I've been in therapy, so that's where I'm getting a lot of this stuff from. I was probably like validated my whole life again and again and again for like accomplishing so many things and like completing so many tasks and like whatever,
Sure.
whatever, whatever. So you get all that validation, you keep doing it, and I'm just like, this is the how life is lived. And not that I ever was short of like hanging out with friends and family and like enjoying all the good parts of life, but I think I just didn't allow myself enough rest. So now I'm literally focusing on being like, don't set the alarm. If you feel like laying down and doing nothing, like whatever, do it. So yeah.
Yeah. So is it a tough adjustment when like you said that, 11 shows in 10 days, like is it a tough adjustment to come off the road? Like do you kind of feel like you're still on the road like those first couple days at home?
Yeah. So it's actually really funny you say that because when we were out with Big Something, we played Wednesday to Sunday. We had Monday off and then we played Tuesday to Saturday. And I remember when we woke up in the hotel room on Monday, me and Luke, we started to get ready to go visit my aunt because we were like in New York. And we were both like, dude, like, we feel so weird because we're like, aren't we supposed to be going somewhere right now? Like, when is load in? And it's like, no, we're not doing anything today. And it's okay. Like, we don't have to go anywhere. And yeah, it is of such a different flow because even though being on the road is a lot of downtime, like downtime in the car, like you're sitting and then like you sound check and then you wait and then you play and then you like wait for the headliner to be done and then you pack up and then you go to sleep. But like, but I've realized that like every single hour is accounted for. Even if you're resting, it's like we are resting so that we can get up and go. So it is weird. And I think that's kind of why it's important for me to kind of do what I was saying is like when I'm home, it's like I really, really, you need days to let your body come down like physically and also physiologically from being in such high demand as a human body and also brain. Like I was saying earlier about constantly making decisions. Like when we were at Flood City and there was rain delays, it's a lot of decision making. And when you're in the studio, it's a lot of decision making. That's what I've realized is like music is one thing, but there's a lot of flow and like that's like really easy. But I've realized like everything around it, constantly making decisions and communicating and emailing and doing all these things like that really for me is the most exhausting part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have that team around you eventually that can do
Yeah. And
that.
honestly, I do have an amazing team right now, agent, manager, and then Maggie, Brick's husband, is doing a lot of accounting and like advertising and stuff like that. And while that is helping a lot, it's still like, I guess it's hard for me to let go of everything, you know? Because it's like, I want to get my eyes on everything and be like, you know, yes, no, whatever. So I do wonder, I'm like, is there going to be a day where I can really be like, I don't need to see the poster. I don't need to see the video or like whatever. I'm like, is there actually going to be a day where like I'm literally doing less? Right now it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
But the goal, the desire is definitely like Brick knows this. He's always like, we're always trying to get you closer to just like just focusing on the music because I do kind of long for that time where it's just like, okay, I've got all day today to make a video and put it on Patreon and like maybe write a song and maybe like read a book and go on a walk so I can get, you know, get the flow going of just like creativity and like openness, which you just need like time and space for. So looking forward to that. We're getting there. And part of it is like my attitude and ability to allow myself that time. So
Yeah. So my last question then, what do we have planned then for after the album? Like tour wise, can you talk about from now until the end of the year? What do we have planned?
I can. I'm gonna need to look at my calendar though.
Of course.
Because you know it's hard to remember. Okay, so first single is 8-8, the next single is 9-9, and the album is 10-10. So it's very easy to remember. And then yeah, we're just continuing with touring. We where are we going? Here's a good thing I can talk about because a
Yeah.
lot of stuff isn't announced yet. But
Okay.
I would say after the album, after Ramble, the biggest thing, especially locally, in Baltimore, we are playing two
Two
nights at the
nights.
8x10. Yes,
Yeah.
with Talk. We're opening up for Talk, who I've loved for a long time. So that's November 20th and 21st. And then what we're trying to do for our second year and make it an annual thing, this would be in December in DC. Last year I forget what we called it, like a holiday kind of super jam thing, like Natalie Brooke holiday super jam. And we did it at the Vault in DC. And so we opened up with like some, or what was it? You know, the Charlie Brown song, Linus and Lucy.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, kind of make it like holiday themed, and then, so we don't have the date announced for that yet, but we're trying to do that for our second year in a row, and have special guests on. I don't know who they'll be yet, but you know, we're trying to like just get some good, fun people to come from other bands I've played with this year, and just make a memorable evening. So those are probably the biggest things: talk shows, and then the Natalie Brooke Super Jam at some point in December.
Well, that's awesome. I
Yeah,
best of luck. I can't wait to hear the
thanks.
album. Um,
I know. I'm so excited for everybody to hear it. I
and
will
what is
make
the
a
album called?
Yeah, it's called Measured in Moments.
Measured in Moments.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
idea?
yeah, yeah. Because I wrote like a small reflection on the album because aside from Hands and one other, a lot of the songs have a similar theme about time and like my relationship with time, feeling like it moves fast and slow, and like nostalgia is a very like beautiful, awesome way of reflecting. And also sometimes I feel like it makes me really sad, you know. So kind of just like those contrasting ideas, and I don't know if like the lyrical content of I Am a Web about like growing and changing and time going on. It's kind of just like an expansion of that amongst like a lot of different songs. I think I just end up writing about time a lot because it feels weird to me. It feels close and far away, and it feels infinite, and also like uh every minute is like accounted for, and like I don't know, so yeah.
Have you written a love song or what you would consider a love song? And if you haven't, is that something that, you'd like to do?
I haven't written a love song. I haven't written a love song. I'm thinking. You know what? I have a couple in the vault that I haven't put out. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh. I do have this song. It's called In June that I have like fully fleshed out, that just like it feels like a song that I want to release like just as me and not like a band thing. And so you were asking earlier about like EP, LP, what's the order and why. So basically, once I get this LP out, there's like kind of a lot of different music that I'm looking forward to releasing, but I wanted to get like my staples in, you know? But yeah, that song In June, I'll just describe it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's because the lyric is oh, I'm just in love with what we had in June, because it was just about a summer fling and a relationship that would never work long term, and just like being in love with like that summer feeling, but like kind of that sadness of just like we'll never really see eye to eye. Our life will never like match up. And I think I have one other about an ex boyfriend from another number of years ago that nobody will ever hear. So there's a couple of them, but you know what? That really does make me realize that like I should, once I get this LP out, I need to go into that vault, go into the voice memos and the Logic demos, and just see what's hiding. That could be brought to life.
Yeah, maybe unopened something, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I appreciate you opening up for us and the
Oh,
audience. So,
thanks, dog. This was a lot of fun.
well, and I'm sorry if I kept you past your bedtime.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine. I want you to know that like I've enjoyed every single minute. I knew I was like it was gonna be like a longer day, but like this has been so enjoyable and so much fun.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I
Are you gonna be
appreciate
at
that.
Ramble?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
I will see you there if I don't see you before.
absolutely. Thank you so much,
Cool.
Natalie Brooke. Everybody, how do people get a hold of you, info wise, website, all that stuff?
Yeah. Instagram, Noodly Brooke. Facebook, Natalie Brooke. Website, nataliebrookmusic.com.
Perfect. Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, Natalie Brooke, Natalie Noodley Brooke from
Yeah,
Baltimore,
yeah.
Maryland.
Thanks,
Ladies and
man.
gentlemen, again, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us and that helps Miss Natalie and the bands and artists that we feature. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR, outfitters.com. Don't just wear RAR. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Dog. You've been great. This is the Music Lab podcast.